A U.S. military plane takes off with 93 people on board and vanishes. No mayday call, no wreckage, no answers. 60 years later, not a single piece of that aircraft has ever been found. And yet, the official explanation says explosion in mid-air. But there's a problem. Witnesses saw something else. Welcome to Mystery Unveiled, where we dive into the world's strangest disappearances, secrets and truths buried in the shadows. Today's mystery is chilling. A real-life vanishing that even the U.S. military couldn't explain. Flight 739 wasn't just a plane, it was a mission, and someone or something didn't want it to arrive. Buckle up. What you're about to hear is still classified in the minds of many. On March 16, 1962, a Lockheed superconstellation known as Flying Tiger Line. Flight 739 departed Andersen Air Force Base in Guam. It was heading for the Philippines. On board were 93 people, including 3 South Vietnamese military personnel, 11 crew members, all American, and what some reports claimed was classified cargo, later denied by the government. The flight was chartered by the U.S. military under contract with Flying Tiger Line. Its mission officially was to transport communications specialists to Saigon. Unofficially, some believe it was part of a covert operation linked to the escalating war in Vietnam. The aircraft never reached its destination. In fact, it vanished entirely over the western Pacific Ocean midway through its route. There were no mayday calls, no debris fields, no bodies, no survivors. 2 weeks after the disappearance, the U.S. military issued a brief statement. They said, Flight 739 likely exploded mid-air without warning. This conclusion was based solely on one report. The crew of a commercial oil tanker called the SSTL Lenson claimed they saw a bright flash in the sky, followed by 2 fireballs falling toward the ocean. But there was a major issue. The tanker was located over 1,500 miles from where Flight 739 should have been at the time. There was no communication from the aircraft to indicate distress, no emergency locator signal, no signs of anything at all. And despite searching 144,000 square miles of ocean, the U.S. military never found a single piece of wreckage. How does a 4-engine aircraft, nearly the size of a Boeing 707, just vanish without a trace? Theories quickly emerged, some more grounded than others. Let's begin with the most discussed theory of all, the covert mission cover-up. Many believe Flight 739 was never just a routine flight. Several passengers were members of the U.S. Army Signal Corps experts in top-secret communication systems. The Vietnam War was intensifying. Rumors circulated that the men on board were being inserted secretly into Southeast Asia. And when the mission went wrong, whether due to sabotage, interception, or failure, they were erased. Even Flying Tiger Line. The company operating the plane accused the government of withholding critical information. Their CEO went public and said they believed there was more to the disappearance than they were being told. But the military stuck to their version, explosion, mid-air case closed, no investigation reopened. Then came the stranger. Theories: some people believe the flight had an encounter with an unidentified flying object. Multiple witnesses in Guam, including military personnel, claimed they saw strange lights trailing Flight 739 shortly after takeoff. Could it have been a secret aircraft, an enemy force, or something not of this world? A now declassified Air Force memo mentioned radar interference on the plane's route just before it vanished. Was this a technical glitch? Or evidence of something no one wanted to explain? To this day, the military has never acknowledged any strange aircraft in the area. Another theory is even harder to prove. Some believe Flight 739 passed through a dimensional rift, much like legends of the Bermuda Triangle. These thin places are thought to be points where reality becomes unstable. Disappearing ships, electronic failures, sudden vanishings. Could the aircraft have entered such a zone and simply left our reality? It sounds far-fetched, but is it any more unlikely than a complete disappearance without a trace? What happened next only added to the mystery. The families of the 93 people aboard were never given closure because the mission was not considered official combat. The men on board received no medals, no honors, and their names were not added to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. They were forgotten by the very country they served. In response, the families created their own memorial in Columbia Falls, Maine, a private monument with the names of all 93 lost souls. It stands alone, in silence, a reminder of lives lost without recognition. So let's step back and look at what we know. A U.S. military plane, 93 people, no wreckage, no mayday, no accountability, no follow-up investigation, and a public kept in the dark.